Hi, welcome to Caribou Country Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl. Today I'm going to be cleaning up the bottom leaves of my mashed potato squash, and I will also be taking out the bottom leaves on my green zucchini. I like to do that to have better airflow into the plant, and that just reduces disease and mold from growing, not enough airflow from getting in underneath the plant. So I'm just going to I've got my pruners here, I've got some gloves on. Squash leaves can be kind of pokey. So I'm going to start with these bottom leaves down here. And I'm just cutting them out and put them in my wheelbarrow. I have quite a bit of fruit in here that's growing on this mashed potato squash, but I can't even see it barely because of all the leaves. And when I'm cutting it, I'm trying to get quite close to the base of the plant when I'm cutting out the leaves. I ended up cutting out a section there. I just don't want it growing too far over into my carrots and my beets on this side. So I'm going to cut out some of these leaders. There we go. When I'm cutting out those leaders, I'm cutting out like 3 or 4 leaves on the leader part of it. On my green zucchini, I'm going to be again cutting off the bottom leaves. I've got a little bit of yellowing coming in on here, and these ones are touching the ground, so I'm going to cut those ones out and bring in some more airflow into this plant as well. So I just find right where it starts, and I'm just cutting that out. And I'm trying not to cut out any other growth other than that. And I have a couple of little green zucchinis growing here. I'm going to cut out this little one because it's already got the disease growing on there. This one as well, just cutting that out, get some more airflow in here. Anything that's laying on the ground, I'm going to cut out because look at what it looks like. I mean, it's not great looking. Cleaned out all these leaves, and probably just that one looked the best out of the 3. So it's good to go around. I had one little mishap, cut out the top leaf and there was nothing wrong with it, but let me cut out some of these back ones. And where's I won't have it so it can't, like some of these leaves are protecting the fruit that's growing in on there, some of the zucchinis. So I'm trying not to cut it so that then the sun is going to be beating down on these fruits that are growing, but I'm going to get a majority of it out. And I'll just cut out a couple more. This zinnia didn't do too much here. Might as well pull it out. That was a candy cane zinnia. So I wonder if the one beside it is a candy cane zinnia as well. I'm just going to get these couple of back leaves. And I'll just pull these out. I think that's all I'm going to cut out of there. As you can see, I have one little zucchini growing in the very bottom, and I have another green zucchini off to the right there. Here I was watering, and I noticed that some of the tomato plants on the other side are starting to impede on this side over my peppers, and I don't really want a bunch of tomato plants coming in over on this side. So there's one here, and I'm just going to cut this one out. I'm going to see where it is at the base, and I am going to cut this out of here, right there, because it's just started to put buds on this tomato plant. So if I get it now before it comes over onto this side, then it's not as hard. Like, I would feel bad about taking off. I have another one I'm going to cut off. It's just getting too far over onto this side. I see I have a bottom leaf that needs to be cut off. So sometimes just going from the front side, you need to come to the back side and see what's going on over on this side too. I have another one I want to take out because I did not notice it growing in here. And I just don't want to have tomatoes growing on this side. And I'm just going to take out this back leaf, which will give it more airflow. And it's not impeding on my pepper plants over on this side. I have another leaf over here. I'm going to take this one out. And I think I have one more that I can take out of here. There. And we don't need these bottom leaves on these tomatoes neither. I try to keep it fairly pruned up, and I just don't want any leaves touching the ground. So that's another reason why I cut out the leaves. If I see that they're touching the ground, I'm going to remove them. Because that, again, same with the squash, it causes the disease, and the next thing you know, your leaves look pretty crappy. And you want to get that out. Now I can't see anything else over on this side other than this one kind of impeding over into this nasturtium. So I'll just cut that out. That's a pretty big leaf. Okay. And I think that looks pretty good now. Got some tomato leaves out of there. Oh, there's one that fell off. Oh, I think I have another one I need to cut out here. Now that I see it, I'm gonna have to come in on this other side. I can't get to it from this side. Oh, I see what's going on. We have another tomato growing in here, so I can't cut out all of it, but I can cut it out up to the tomato and kind of cut back on that growth. I'm going to come in behind here and cut out another section on this side. And that'll just stop that growth from taking over anymore. There, I think that's better. Show you this sunflower. So this is a fasciated blossom. So that's where you have 2 or 3 sometimes blossoms that are fused together, growing in together. And I see 1, 2, and possibly a third one right in the center. And I just wanted to leave that to show you that one. I thought that was pretty cool. And that's what that is. Here I have another sunflower that's opened up. That one's super pretty. This one hasn't quite opened up, and this one is a bicolored sunflower. And that orange zinnia, the nasturtiums. Got another really pretty zinnia there. There's a sunflower opening up. I have another one in behind this mashed potato squash in the back there. I'm going to zoom in. That one is a bicolored one as well in the back of my mashed potato squash. And see how that mashed potato squash is just growing up that zinnia. I'll show you this mashed potato blossom. Now that I have a lot more leaves cut out here, we can actually see into the plant. I have quite a few mashed potatoes coming in on this plant, but it's definitely going to get some better. And then there's those really pretty nasturtiums. There's such a deep red. And look at those tomatoes. If I come over on this side, these 2 little plants here, this one and this one, this is the Mexican sunflower, the Tithonia, and I don't see a bud on there yet. Calendula starting to open up. Look at all the flowers on that jalapeno. And then I've got, like, I don't know how many are in here, but there's quite a few. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 growing in there right now on this one. And then if we come over here, look at those flowers on that eggplant. And then I have right here, there's one eggplant. There's another one down in here. And I have a third one growing in there. And then if we come over to this one, and there's more blooms on these. Like, I have a bloom there, but I have an eggplant right there growing in on that. Got another bud coming in there. I have a bloom on this Black Beauty eggplant, but I don't have any eggplants on that Black Beauty. And then look at that, is another. Some of these sunflowers are bicolor and tricolor, but I have so many sunflowers opening up all over. There's another zinnia just getting ready to open up. I have, this is the Envy zinnia, so it's a lime green. I tried to grow these last year and they didn't take. And then there's that one. I love the little center of the stamens inside the bud, that they're yellow and the flower itself is pink. Got another calendula opening up. Lots of flowers on my cucumbers, with some pretty nice cucumbers growing in on it too. Like, that's pretty amazing. These are the cherry rose nasturtiums. Here's another in the center. That's an envy zinnia, so it's going to be lime green. I can't wait until that one opens up. My monkshood is opening up, the purple and white flowers. And then all the borage. With the pollinators on it. And then tucked in there I have another sunflower getting ready to open up as well. These large-headed sunflowers, I was telling you how the deer ate the tops off of them. And I says, well, it's funny they haven't noticed the other one. I hated to talk too soon. Well, it's too late. They noticed it and ripped it right out of the ground. Plus they trimmed back my snapdragons and my verbena and salvia again. I don't know if they'll ever get to flower. I had a couple of flowers on my sweet peas. They came and ate those. I did plant my rose, so here's hoping that the deer don't strip all the buds off of those when it decides to finally put out some blooms. But it's so funny because this bucket over here, I have lots of snapdragon buds over here. I've got some snapdragons that have opened, and then those purple kind of burgundy-ish snapdragons in there. But it's also, there's so much mint in here. That's all I can think of as to why the deer are not eating from this one. So I had to bring up another stake, and this is the cherry Roma. So I brought up another broomstick, and I'm going to push it in alongside of this cherry Roma, and then I'm going to tie this up. And I'm going to tie it up in a few sections. And I've got my stretchy tie here. I just don't want it to fall down and then snap and break. It's bad enough when I break it myself, but I don't want to encourage it to break. So I'm just going to tie it down here up against to this broomstick handle. And see, I have some little cherry Roma tomatoes growing on here. They're starting to ripen. I have sweetie cherries that are starting to ripen as well. Nothing behind me, but let's go over to the Torenzo because they're ready to pick. Oh, look at these Torenzos. So on this side, this is Torenzo, and that's a cherry tomato. And I've got a few here that are ready to pick, but those are really nice. I'm making a Caesar salad tonight, and I actually like to put cherry tomatoes in my Caesar salad. I don't know if anybody else likes Caesar salad that way, but I do, and it hasn't stopped anybody from coming to my house to have Caesar salad, so I'm thinking it must be okay. So I'm just going to pick these ones here that are ripe on this side. I got another little one here. And then I'm going to go over to this other side, and I even have a little yellow tumbler. So in this basket, these are the Torenzo on this side, and then on this side of the hanging basket, this is the yellow tumbler, and I have one yellow tumbler ready to be picked, but I've got quite a few of the Torenzo. And this one here, that's another Cherry Roma. I'll leave that one there. But I don't have any others that are ready to be picked. This is just the beginning of my tomato season picking. So pretty excited about this, and this will go really nice. I picked some kale. I'm actually making a lasagna tonight and having some family over, and so my sister-in-law and brother-in-law and my son are coming over for dinner. And I'm making a big lasagna because I want to put some of it in the freezer for Jamie and Austin for while I'm gone to Saskatchewan to visit my sister. So I'm making a big pan of lasagna and a Caesar salad and some garlic bread. I think that'll be pretty darn good. Okay, so what I have here was my hanging basket that I got for my birthday, and it's looking pretty straggly, so I've decided I'm going to give it a bit of a haircut, and then I'm going to throw some fertilizer in here, and we'll see what ends up happening with this, but it is just looking like it's on its last leg. So to start, I'm going to clean up these bottom branches, and anything lower than this hanging basket, so right where it meets the table, I'm going to be clipping off those bottom branches and just giving it a bit of a haircut and just trying to pump its energy back up and focus on some new growth here. And in this basket there is the snapdragons, no snapdragons, there's the petunias, we have some verbena, calibrachoa, we also have geraniums. And so when I come around this side, I'm basically cutting off these bottom branches that are hanging down lower. So I'm pulling them down to see where they hang, and I'm cutting that bottom stuff off. Just kind of cleaning that up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to deadhead all of the spent flowers off of this. I'm just going to turn it around, bring it to this side, pull this down, see what's hanging down, and I'm just going to cut that off. I'm going to have to sweep this deck once I'm finished. There's a lot of dead stuff that's just falling to the floor of the deck, but all of this calibrachoa that's growing underneath here, I'm just going to give this all just a major haircut. I'm just pulling on it and seeing where it falls to, and then I'm just going to cut it out. And this one hangs down over here. I missed one over there. Give it another turn. I actually watered this morning, and it just seemed so blah that I just figured, you know, I'm going to clean it up and give it a major haircut, throw some fertilizer in there, and just see what happens. It can't get any worse than the way it's been looking. Okay, I've got a few more here to cut back. No, this one's so dried up it's so dried up it's dead. So coming in here and cutting out some of this stuff isn't even going to matter because it's so burnt up. It's been so hot here. I'm just going to deadhead this verbena real quick. Any of these spent blooms that have nothing on them, I'm just cutting that out. It's pretty dried out. It's definitely probably needed some fertilizer before now. Okay, I've got this last little bit here. I'm going to cut this back, and then I'm going to start cutting back some of these dead heads in here too. So this geranium, this flower is pretty much finished. And I'm not gonna, like normally I would just tilt it back away from the plant and it would snap off. But I think because it's having a hard time with this growth, I'm just gonna cut these dead heads off. And I've got some really dried up leaves on this geranium and they're just coming right off. So I'm gonna clean that up out of here too. This hanging basket has definitely seen better days. When I first got it, it was so full and lush and everything. And like I say, it has been so hot up here on the deck. I probably should have had it on the other side of the deck, but I didn't. So, and I'm just gonna pull out these dried up petunia flowers. I'm just taking those out too. Like I say, it's not 100%, but it definitely looks better. Not all those dried up flowers and leaves all on it. And tomorrow when I water, I will put 20-20-20 fertilizer on there. It's just an all-purpose balanced fertilizer. Here's all the kale that I picked. I'm going to clean that up and I'm going to be using that in my lasagna. And also I picked some of my celery because I only have a little bit left in the fridge and I'm not going to buy it anymore now that I can pick it. And then I picked all my Butter Crunch lettuce that was ready and I'm going to use that in my Caesar salad for tonight. Hope you enjoyed this video. Just a little bit of the everyday cleaning up and picking that needs to be done, and just wanted to show you what I was doing with my squashes and removing leaves to put in some better airflow for them and reduce the disease and mold and mildew that grows in there. The flowers over here looking really good. Have my double petunias. I really like these ones. They were a type of a rosette. And then here I have the Crimson Eye Dianthus. This is the other color, like this was an assorted color geranium. I had these last year and I brought them in, overwintered them, and then put them back out. And so we have a white one here, and then that's the salmon geranium there as well. We have our Snow White Alyssum. There's another Crimson Eye Dianthus over on this side, and I've got some carnations coming in here. Got buds on them. They haven't opened up yet, but they're looking really nice too. In behind, oh here, if you see here, there's a carnation bud. Looks like it's going to be a pink one. I can't wait for that to open up. In behind here, these are balsam, and I've had those for quite a few years. I think I only had enough seeds this year to have a couple of balsam. And then in behind this white geranium, I have a dahlia that I started from seed, and it has a little bud on it but has not opened as of yet. So anyways, like I say, I hope you like this video. If you liked it, throw a like in there, and if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.